Hello and welcome to the Everyone Has a Story podcast. It seems recently a lot of my stories come out of the bottom of the Grand Canyon, and today is going to be no different. I'm about 2/3 away down with my group going down to the Grand Canyon to go fly fishing on the Colorado River and the Bright Angel Creek. And we come across these four gentlemen. Three of them are walking, and one of them is on a makeshift built rickshaw that the three guys are helping their friend. As we started talking to these guys while we're on the trail, we found out that they've been lifelong friends, good buddies, and one of them came down with a form of early MS to where he's not really able to walk any distance, number one, but then he also can't keep his balance. But they all wanted to do one big trip together. And so they let him chose the spot, and they chose the Grand Canyon. They want to go down the bottom and do some day hikes. But because he was not going to be able to make it on his own, one of his buddies got into his shop and created this makeshift wheelchair/rickshaw where they could take him down. So it's almost being pushed like it's a vehicle like you'd being pushed as a wheelchair. But then because you have to cross a couple creeks, it had handles on both ends, so that way all of his buddies could help pick him up and carry the whole vehicle across the creeks. And it was good that they did it that way, because while we're down at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, we had a couple rainstorms that really were your good old gully washers. I mean, these streams became anywhere from 6 inches. They went up to probably 2 or 3 feet in depth just because of the amount of rain that was dropped. But anyway, these guys did that because they found a need. They wanted to spend more time with their buddy. They knew they didn't really have any idea how much time they had left with him, and they wanted to have one at least last hurrah with this buddy. And so they did that. And that's what we're going to talk about today. We're going to talk about that the old saying, the necessity is the mother of all invention. These guys had a need, and they did something about it proactively. My guest today, Saffron Sumner, we're going to talk about that because she's done that exact thing. She didn't build a rickshaw, but she's built a business around helping others in their 20s. The business is called 20s Legacy. Now, this gentleman that I met at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, he had a health issue. Saffron is putting together something for the individuals in their 20s who are experiencing things in life that they just weren't really expected or really prepared for. And so she found this need because she went through some difficult times herself. And she said, you know what? I'm not going to be a victim. I'm going to make things happen, and I'm going to help other people besides myself move forward. So with that being said, let me introduce you to Saffron Sumner. Saffron, welcome and thank you.
Hi, Roger. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really excited to be on today.
Oh, you're very welcome.
That was such a lovely story as well. Very heartwarming.
Yeah, it very heartwarming, and it's good to have friends like that, right? And I know that you are doing something similar for your group, and we're going to talk about that here in a minute. But anyway, Saffron is the founder of 20s Legacy. You got to love the name itself because it's made for the right reason. This business is made for the right reason. And that's why I'm so happy to have her on my podcast, because she is pretty an amazing person, but you'll just see how big and good her heart is when we start talking about really what she's doing here. So Saffron, tell us a little bit more about who you really are.
So, as Roger keeps saying, my name is Saffron. I'm currently based in London. I was born in Oxfordshire, England, if anybody you know what that is. I have a background in marketing and PR. I essentially started a business when I was around 22 years old, a marketing agency, and quickly found that the corporate life just wasn't for me at all. The expectations and the way it works and making money for businesses, it just really isn't something that I found I resonated with or very fulfilling. And during that time, it was a big time of isolation, having a lack of support. And that's just something that I didn't want any other young business owner to go through. So essentially, my mission is to help as many people in their 20s as I can to have a supportive community and just to be there for one another, just be able to talk and work our way through things.
And from a business consulting standpoint, you have your niche, and that's what's really great is that you have a specific niche, but we're not here to talk really about that. But we are here to talk about the 20s legacy. So give us a good idea, a deeper idea of what is the 20s legacy and who makes up the 20s legacy.
So, who makes up the 20s legacy is founders, freelancers, creators, essentially anyone self employed, all the way down to side hustlers. And it, as Roger said, it is for people in those 20s. So, anybody who's self employed. And essentially, what the group does is it's a networking group. So there's a group chat where we all talk with one another, we support, give advice, chat, we can even moan to each other. But then on the opposite side of that, it's a really supportive group to help you self-manage your self-employment. So there's a lot of resources for you to be able to do different aspects of your business or freelancing. There's a big education side to it, but then there's also events. We've got a really cool membership coming up as well, where you're going to get a lot more support within that. And the events are both online and we're going to be hosting ones in real life as well. We are currently global. There are some people all over the world. It is predominantly UK based, but essentially what we are just coming together is helping one another. The resources and the education pieces are not just from me. They're from different scopes of business owners. So you could be having someone who's an accountant, a business mentor, IT, HR. There's loads of different aspects. So you're not just getting the knowledge and the help from me, but from several people to really help you how you need.
And there's a book out there called Who Not How. As an individual living on this earth, it almost seems like it's a badge of honor to waste time to figure out how to do something on your own, as opposed to knowing what you want, your end result, and finding the right person to come help you out. And that's the beauty of the 20 legacy, is what I see, is that you are creating a whole lot of who's, you're introducing a lot of who's to other who's, instead of having your group of 20-year-olds try to figure everything out on their own. And that's where a lot of businesses fail, is that, you just never know what kind of information they're going to receive on their own or what steps they take. So I love that. Now, I know you've kind of broached on the subject about what was the backstory of the 20s legacy, but was there a tipping point, a specific thing that happened to you that said, you know what, no more, I'm going to do this?
Yeah, so essentially when I was running the marketing agency, I got really burnt out. I wasn't self-managing myself. I didn't put any systems or good habits in place, and I just absolutely crumbled. I ended up in hospital as well from the burnout and complications due to that and due to stress. And afterwards, after that, I just weighed up, what do I want? What's even worth it and what's fulfilling? And I just knew absolutely that was not it. So then I put together a plan of how I wanted to help people and what skills of mine that I could use. And essentially that's where I came up with the idea of a community to help people, A, avoid what I went through and not having any support, and B, it meant that I can do something that I really enjoy as well.
It's sad, but you're not the only one that's alone on that island. But it's very, very sad that our career, our choice of employment can put us in the hospital for the wrong reasons. That's just not right. And I know there's a lot of people out there claiming to be experts to help people out, but if all you do is write a book, we've all read books and we think, oh man, that was a lot of good stuff, but we still have to wake up tomorrow and start either implement it or go back to our old habits, which is very easy to do. So what is your desired outcome for this community that you've created?
I want the community and the platform that we're creating to be the place that young entrepreneurs or people who are just coming out of university, college, even school, that they go to this spot to be able to learn how to get into self-employment, manage it in the beginning on their own, and progress to scale mode. Essentially, I want people to come to the platform and get everything that they need and all the support that they need. there's so much information on the internet. It's very overwhelming. And obviously a lot of it on Google nowadays is paid for. So I feel like if they could just come to one place that they trust, that they know they can get involved. And they do say that the best types of communities are the ones that you can see your work making a difference in. So I want these people to be able to make a difference in the community so that they feel a part of it. And then they can also pass on their knowledge to then the next generation that come in and come through.
So before we really get into self-employment, freelancers, entrepreneurship, most of us all started out with a job and maybe a career that we just didn't resonate with. So where do you think right now you kind of broached a subject about your corporate life and you just knew it wasn't right for you, it put you in the hospital. Where are these organizations, these other businesses, managers, owners, where are they falling short to help minimize the rush of people quitting their jobs earlier than what they should to start their own business and to be a freelancer?
Honestly, I think one of the biggest things that you can offer as a business right now is flexibility. I know from obviously the pandemic, we introduced work from home, and that is one benefit. And then obviously some business owners are rushing them back. But I think the true problem is micromanagement as well, making feel someone under the pressure like they have to reach certain things, as though you're checking up all the time, as though they don't have any creative freedom. I think that was a big stunt. I think it's just also corporations are there to make money. There's only so much they can even do. And some people love playing that game. Some people love climbing the ladder. Some people love working all the time so that they do build their life in that way. But then there are these other people that feel like, actually, I want more out of my life. I don't just want to be working, 10 hours a day just to climb up in one company. That's nothing that I'm building for myself. So I don't know if even at this point it's necessarily something they can stop. It's just something they've got to accommodate. Some of the businesses that I've seen recently, the ones who even have younger employers, what they're doing is, with their employees, they're helping them self-development programs where essentially they help them build themselves outside the business as well. And I feel like in turn that makes them more loyal to the business, because obviously they're helping them grow, but it eventually does allow them to move on and move upwards in whatever they choose to do. So I think if you're supporting someone rather than trying to entrap them, that's going to make someone stay with you for longer.
So how do your services at the 20s Legacy going to help these individuals? I can't agree more. Too many times business owners, big, small, large, they're so darn fixated on the bottom line. And so I hear a lot of people say, I don't have the profitability to help fund that. If I let these guys have more flexibility, I'm not getting any more production from them. Right now, a couple of universities here in the States before the pandemic showed where 4.2 hours out of every 8-hour shift was actually being productive. And since the pandemic and we're working from home and have other distractions, that number's even gone down. So how do you combat that from an owner's point of view, a business manager's point of view, that flexibility might be too costly to them?
So first of all, we should address that some businesses just absolutely cannot offer the flexibility. If you're on the front service, if you're a nurse, a doctor, dentist, anything like that, yes, of course, we can't cut the hours or offer the flexibility. It's just not happening. But if you are a corporation where you have office workers, I don't believe it should be hours based. I think it should be project based. So like when I ran a marketing agency and like several other agencies, you have certain projects that you have to do for clients. I feel like what they should say to their employees, okay, you need these projects done by the end of the week. You manage your time and how you do it. But if you have to be online for clients, make sure people have there a lot of times that they're online to talk to clients, of course. But they say, okay, you have these projects, go away and get them done. It has been proven that they will be significantly more productive and efficient with their time, knowing it's project-based, knowing that if they did need to pop out quick they can come back to it. And they end up making up more work time as well. They end up asking for more projects. If you take that approach, it actually works a lot better. And I am seeing more and more, not just on LinkedIn, but also studies showing that shorter work weeks are more productive. People are using their time more wisely. It's like the saying, if you give someone 12 hours to do something, they'll take 12. If you give them 6, they'll do it in 6. That's why I think we should encourage flexibility. You will get a lot more out of your workers doing it that way than making them stay in the office till 6 o'clock, especially on a Friday. We all know we shut off by 1, 2 o'clock.
Well, it sounds like you're trying to take my role as a business consultant. That's very, very good advice, and something that we could all heed. So, besides project-based payment structures, what are some of your other solutions that will help these individuals while they're still employed by an organization, a business owner, or moving on to their own unique freelance self-employment opportunities?
Upskill yourself, especially with the recession that we're going through and the economy. You never know if your job is safe at the end of the day. So the best thing you can be doing for yourself is upskilling, becoming more confident in several areas, get used to selling, get used to having to write, hone in the skills that you have right now so that you could potentially offer it as a service, or with your skills, find a need, find an issue that you want to solve. And these are just all things that you need to start thinking about so that if there was a time that you need to become self-employed, you can. If you did want to jump into self-employment whilst being employed as well, which is a really safe and good option, you absolutely can do that. Just start by upskilling and deciding what you would want to do.
I love that. Now, I've been waiting for this answer because I have a scenario that I want to hear your response to. When I used to work for other employers, I literally could sell ice to an Eskimo. I love the art of selling and the art of that transaction. But when I found out, what I found out is that when I became my own boss, I'm now self-employed. I've started my consulting business. Now all of a sudden I'm selling me. I'm selling my services. And all of a sudden it didn't feel the same, because now all of a sudden I'm representing me. I'm trying to sell me. And call it lack of humility or what, but it's probably the hardest thing that I've ever had to experience myself. And I know that a lot of individuals, I don't care what their age group is, when they start their own business and they're starting to have to sell themselves, their products, it all of a sudden becomes a very, very high and thick wall to get across. What are your thoughts on what I just said?
Well, I'll first of all start off with is that I think we all struggle with it. No matter how much experience you've got, no matter what you've sold in the past or what you can do, selling yourself is just different. And it goes back to the old imposter syndrome, doesn't it? It doesn't matter what you've achieved or what you can do. At the end of the day, you are your biggest enemy. I think for you and for everybody else, I would, as you have done, first of all, perfect selling, and then really look inwards at your reason why you want to do this, what's made you do it, what makes you happy about it. Just essentially get down to the raw emotion, because when you're selling yourself, you need to do it in a storytelling setting. You can't just sell to someone. They're not going to take it. They're going to have to get to know the real you. So if you go from an emotive side and really push that, that's how then people connect with you. When they connect with you, that's when they want to buy from you. They want to buy from a person. We've all heard it, but you really need to get down to the emotive part of it. So I think just get comfortable with being real and raw, get comfortable with being yourself, because we're all amazingly individualistic and we all have different characteristics that someone will love. And at the end of the day, if someone doesn't like you or doesn't want to buy from you, you don't want them as a customer or client anyways. There is always going to be someone. You've just got to remain consistent with it and really believe in yourself. It's confidence. And if you can't magically overnight get it, just fake it till you make it, because eventually it does come.
Okay. Now, let's talk about the real benefits. I know as a business owner, financially, it can be, if it's done right, very lucrative, and more lucrative than being an employee for someone. And obviously, there's you have control on your schedule. You have control of that flexibility, which some people will kind of smirk and say under their breath, yeah, try being your own boss. You don't have any days off. You're expected to work long hours. That's if you do it without being prepared to do it. But what are some of the other real tangible benefits besides maybe being more lucrative financially and having control of that flexibility of your schedule?
I would say, honestly, at the beginning, don't think of the money because the other benefits far outweigh it. You will never learn as much when you manage yourself and you do your own freelance work or your own business work. You will never learn more aspects in any area than when you're doing that. So, and you should always be open to learning, like in your whole life. That is just one of the biggest benefits. I would also say another benefit is the people you meet. I have met absolutely incredible individuals, including you, Roger, um, and open myself up to so many opportunities that I wouldn't have even dreamed of. Even coming down to this podcast, that's a year ago. I just would have never have thought that's something I'm going to do for myself. The amount of people that would want to talk to you as well, the places you can go, the meetups you get invited to. So it is the whole social and opportunity side that is a huge benefit as well. But then I think my favorite benefit is being able to path the way for your own life. I've found for me, it works so much better me being self-employed because it helps several other areas of my life. Sorry. So it means that in the morning, I get to set my own morning routine and I'm not obviously due to check in with anybody at a certain time. And having my own time in the morning to me is really important and it helps set me up for a productive day. But it also means that if my sister wanted to see me one day, I could then, put aside those work hours for another day. It, of course, as business owners, we've got to come back to it and we do have to make them up. But it just means that I can enjoy life so much more, knowing that I am not stuck to this rigid 9 to 5 regime. It is all about making life work for me and getting the most out of it rather than living to work.
So, in other words, you've adopted the mindset of being more present, more being in the present. And there's no bigger than reward than having that
Yeah.
ability to intentionally and purposely being in the present and enjoying every moment. And really, what does that mean to you and to the individual's part of the 20s legacy?
So being present means that we are able to enjoy what we're doing. You wouldn't believe the amount of business owners or freelancers that are running a million miles a minute and they actually forget to enjoy the journey. What a lot of people are focused on is just the end goal. Oh, I want to hit 6 figures. Oh, I want to get out of startup stage, sorry. I want to achieve this. I want X amount of clients. You're actually forgetting to enjoy when you're actually doing the work, the people that you're talking to, being a business owner, meaning that it can improve different areas of your life, as we touched upon. Being present means that you get to just sit back and actually also feel proud of yourself for what you are accomplishing. And if you're not present in any of that, it means what are you doing it for? It's just going to wash away. You're going to end up 15 years down the line and think, where did that time go? What did I even do? So I think being present is something everybody should work on. And within the 20s Legacy Group, it is something that I really want to push importance in. Don't start this freelance journey or this business journey if you're not going to enjoy the moments that come in between. Obviously, there's going to be up and downs, but you really have to, in the moment, think, I'm doing this for a purpose and I'm enjoying it. Like they say, stop to smell the roses.
Absolutely. Well, Saffron, I can't thank you enough for being my guest today. Uh, I hope a lot of people just fully embrace the fact that you're in your 20s. You talk as if you're 60, that you have a lot of experience in you, and the fact that you do it with a deep and caring heart, which that's probably what I got attracted to most when we first started talking, is that that you are probably one of the most heartfelt people I've ever met, and it really reflects on how you articulate your words and your advice. And a lot of us every day should follow that advice of being in the present, but really being human, and using that heart not just to keep your body moving and breathing, but to really use it for the betterment of everybody. So I can't thank you enough for that. So before I let you leave, please give us one more piece of Saffron's inspiration to close off the podcast.
I would say learn to love yourself and love all areas of your life, and always look to better yourself, learn more, and care more.
And I know you have a favorite quote that you've always repeated to me by Albert Einstein.
Yeah, so it's in the middle of difficulty lies opportunity. So no matter what hard time you're going through or what's going on in the world right now, there's going to always be an opportunity for you, and it wouldn't be there if you wasn't meant to take it.
Nice closing words. Saffron, if someone wants to get in touch with you or look more into joining your 20s legacy community, how can they get in touch with you?
They can connect with me on LinkedIn. I would love to be connected on there. And then through my LinkedIn, you'll be able to find any of the links for the 20s Legacy group. I would love you to be inside. I welcome all of you, even if you're not self-employed yet and you do want to get into it, please come. Even if you're on 29, come in. It's fine. There's always plenty of opportunities for everyone and all sorts of business owners. So yeah, if you want to learn more, just get in touch.
Great. Well, thank you again, and great luck with all of what you're doing with this group and helping them out and helping yourself out. So thank you.
Thank you so much for having me, and for all your kind words. You are an absolute treasure. Thank you.
You're very welcome. My podcast wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for my sponsors and my great supporters. So let me take this opportunity to thank each and every one of them. First of all, I want to thank Rebecca at Custom Bookkeeping and Accounting, delivering trustworthy bookkeeping services since 2003. Dave and Dara at Virtues Matter, making this world a much happier place to be with their Virtues card apps, coaching, and workshops. Stephen at Buller Accounting, giving business owners depth and insight to their numbers. Eric and his team at Ivy Cat Web Design, the real superheroes of web development and design. Jennifer and Jean at the Seavers Real Estate Team, serving Pierce and Kitsap counties with their home buying and selling needs. Maury at the Maury Method, the world's only brainwave entrainment engineer, helping everyone have more clarity, less stress, and overall better brain health. Priya at Pivot My Profit, helping individuals and businesses have better control of their finances and more money at the end of their day. Melissa at the Soul Vibe Energy High, the queen of the aha moments, helping individuals find those holes in their cups, repair the hole, and gain back their positive energy. And finally, Rick at West Sound Recording. You talk, they do all the rest. Thank you, Rick, for all your efforts with the production and editing of my podcast. My podcast wouldn't be the same if it wasn't for my sponsors and my great supporters. So let me take this opportunity to thank each and every one of them. First of all, I want to thank Rebecca at Custom Bookkeeping and Accounting, delivering trustworthy bookkeeping services since 2003. Dave and Dara at Virtues Matter, making this world a much happier place to be with their Virtues card apps, coaching, and workshops. Stephen at Buller Accounting, giving business owners depth and insight to their numbers. Eric and his team at Ivy Cat Web Design, the real superheroes of web development and design. Jennifer and Jean at the Seavers Real Estate Team, serving Pierce and Kitsap counties with their home buying and selling needs. Maury at the Maury Method, the world's only brainwave entrainment engineer, helping everyone have more clarity, less stress, and overall better brain health. Priya at Pivot My Profit, helping individuals and businesses have better control of their finances and more money at the end of their day. Melissa at the Soul Vibe Energy High, the queen of the aha moments, helping individuals find those holes in their cups, repair the hole, and gain back their positive energy. And finally, Rick at West Sound Recording. You talk, they do all the rest. Thank you, Rick, for all your efforts with the production and editing of my podcast.